He sometimes wears glasses to see what others don't. In past lives, he was always himself. He doesn't wear Nike, yet he still does it. He's Shepard Ambellas, and you are listening to his show, Who Does It? He's Shepard Ambellas, and you are listening to his show, Who Does It? He's Shep.
All right, welcome to the show, everyone. It's Wednesday already. We're halfway through the week. You know, with all these UFO sightings, the balloons in the sky, we had the security officer on from the nuclear power plant in South Carolina who testified that his co-worker, two of his co-workers reported seeing a Tylenol-shaped object hovering in the sky above a defunct nuclear reactor. If you're watching on YouTube right now, smash the like button, follow, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, follow, subscribe, 5-star, comment, make sure and comment on YouTube, get into the chat, share it out. Everyone be proactive. It's like we can't go against a $1 trillion New World Order apparatus if no one participates. So we need to do that. Like, follow, subscribe, because also they unsubscribe people on Twitter. You know, it's crazy. I don't know. Bethany had it happen recently. I think Rant was saying something. That happens to me all the time. So, you know, just make sure and be proactive, set your alerts, but share these shows out. And sometimes we're going to go to Rumble. Rant, do you want to explain what we're thinking about doing?
As far as
like eventually going over to Rumble, like on some of the shows?
Depends on the topic.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people on YouTube. I mean, the comments are already blown up, but the YouTube likes to ban people, and we don't want to get Shep's main YouTube banned. So if we have guests on, that we're going to talk about, you know, topics that'll get us kicked off.
Right.
Then we want you guys to be on Rumble so that we will run half the show on YouTube and then switch over to Rumble to where it's completely uncensored at that point. I mean,
that's a great idea.
Talk about anything.
Yeah. You know, and hopefully that'll, you know, that
it's always going out to Rumble. It's just there's going to be guests on at times where at some point the YouTube will get shut down and it will be pushed. Everybody will have to go to Rumble or Twitter or atn.live or rain.rantcast.com to watch the rest of the show, because YouTube can be, you know,
it's the shittiest thing, right? Too, because I've noticed this with YouTube, right? We get so many more views when we're on YouTube, and then when we go over to these other platforms, it's not quite there, and people are conditioned to be on YouTube, and it's breaking that behavioral, just whatever loop that people are in, because that's just where people go. This shit's on YouTube, and YouTube bans the fuck out of everybody. And I know I'm just preaching to the choir, but we got to find these other systems and other platforms to where we can do what we want to do, and everybody has to be on board with that. And we have to do our own behavioral modification, I guess, and we'll work it out and we'll figure it out. And just, we need to let y'all know, basically.
If you're new to the show and you like it, you know, tell people about it. Right now, the big thing is I need all the support I can get because I'm going full time. Once I can sustain myself going full time, this thing can just build, because if I can just do this, and it's crazy right now how they've got me targeted. They shut down a couple of my banks. So I'm doing things a certain way, and we're going to persevere, and we're going to build this thing out. almost spilt my coffee.
I'm going to
So,
put the links to Shep's Rumble page in the YouTube and Facebook comments.
Yeah, and everyone follow everyone on Twitter and
Did
all
I
that.
say YouTube? I meant Rumble. Or wait,
Rumble.
whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, I guess for the topic today is the Planet X Nemesis system nearing Earth? And that's the big question. A lot of people are wondering this because not only has the government been acting suspicious in terms of everything that my film covered, Shackled to Silence, which you can get on DVD. The link is in the description. That's the only way you can view it right now. Support my work, Shackled to Silence. The link is in the description. DVD video. Is Planet X Nemesis system nearing Earth? Well, we have worldwide governments in continuity of government over what they are saying is the invisible enemy. We saw these convergences of asteroids. Now, just this week and the previous week, there was a lot more asteroids than they reported. I was watching this YouTube channel. This guy was tracking them, and there's video footage. I mean, one almost came down and literally hit like a city. It fizzled out like right before.
Yeah, they had the coordinates like right down to the moment. I mean, they knew exactly when it was going to enter the atmosphere. Fucking math.
What are you talking about? The one over like Europe and the English Channel in France, that kind of area? I was hearing something that the person that found that was using like a 2-foot telescope. It wasn't even like a professional astronomer. It was just a guy in his backyard, supposedly, or something like that. I don't think I caught the whole story.
They had
but
just
if that's
found
true,
it like not too long ago, right?
Yeah, it was like one of those last minute things. It's been last minute all the time when it comes up with these NEOs.
Well, it's pretty crazy, honestly. There's a lot going on. One thing is the Mr. MB333 channel. And I'm going to play a little bit of this interview he did with this lady from Arizona on there. And she had spotted back at the end of last year, and she filmed it, what appears to be a planetoid or planet-sized object that was going through the night sky by the moon. And then people are going to say, well, why didn't everyone see it? There's another clip, which I'm going to show. I'm going to pull it up right now. Now, watch this closely. I personally have ruled out that I don't think that's the moon.
Whoa.
I showed this to someone else who's really in tune with the moon. They do a lot of moon stuff. They don't think it's the moon. Now, this thing is sweeping to the side, but look closely at the smoke right there coming out of those smokestacks. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, now look at the very, very bottom of the screen. It's hard to see. There's actually cars, because I took an image of this. There's actually cars that go by. I don't know if you can see it in this clip that I got. So look, this is happening quick. So that object moves through that sky in the amount of time that puff of smoke is going.
Wow.
Basically out of sight. Now, this is the actual description of Planet X. Low on the horizon before morning. You could only see it certain times. It might not even be visible every day, depending on how everything's rotating or whatever. Now, look at that puff of smoke. That's how we know this is the moon.
So, Shep, that's not a glitch when it goes because it like slow, and then it goes bloop. It just like slides. That's not a glitch. That's actually.
We know that smoke plume in those beginning slides. Look, that can't be the moon. The moon doesn't rise as fast as a smoke plume.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Somebody said it's photoshopped. What do you have to say about that, Shep?
No, I don't. I really don't think it is.
Yeah,
and
because
I'm
if you're
not
gonna Photoshop it, you're not gonna have something like that. I think you'd do
super-
a better job if you were gonna Photoshop it.
Yeah, and I don't. And I'm a film guy. I just don't see that at all in there. So the thing is this matches all types of reports that are going on right now. There, Mr. MB333, in my opinion, did one of the most significant interviews since my first appearance on Crowdsource the Truth with the Planet X show and John Cullen and everything, because is what's going on here is I'm going to put this Mr. MB333 report on, and we're going to play a little bit of that.
Okay, today is December 8th. It's around 1 p.m. 2022. I'm on the phone with Mandy from Sierra Vista, Arizona. And Mandy saw something incredible in the sky from Sierra Vista during the overnight hours of November 16th. And I have Mandy on the phone. Hello, Mandy.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. That's great to hear. What I'd like to do, I got the pictures that you sent me of
Make
what
sure
you're
and follow this
describing
guy,
as a moon
Mr.
that you saw
MB333.
in the nighttime sky from Sierra Vista, Arizona at 2:15 a.m. on November 16th. However, it was not the moon that we are all familiar with. Could you elaborate and share your experience with us, please, and what drew you outside at 2:15 and what you saw?
Absolutely. My dog actually woke me up. She needed to go out and use the restroom. I typically have to follow her out. She won't come back in. She's a bit stubborn. So I'm waiting on the porch for her and kind of stargazing. And I see the only thing that I could really describe as being possibly a rogue planet or another moon. It was an orb or a sphere in our eastern sky. It was slightly larger than the moon. It was about 15 degrees off the horizon. And I believe the moon was located about 40 degrees in the sky at the time. I'd watched it for a while. It was about 30 minutes that I watched it. It didn't really move other than to follow the pace of the moon as it ascended into the sky. As it ascended in the sky, there were stars.
Vision problems? Try adding this to a glass of water before bed. Scientists at the world-renowned Massachusetts Eye and Ear Hospital in Boston.
Fuck you, YouTube.
In the background behind the object would cover the stars as it ascended with the moon.
Okay. So that's telling us there was something physical there if it was blocking out the stars.
Definitely.
Gotcha. Okay.
Definitely. It wasn't really it wasn't reflective, but it was it was illuminated by the light of the moon. I watched it for a long time, just kind of wondering what I'm looking at. I decided to come inside and wake my husband up around 2:45. That was about 30 minutes after looking at the thing. He came out with me and confirmed that I wasn't crazy. I was really seeing something up there, and it was the size of the moon, and neither of us could identify it. I asked him what he thought it might be, and his only explanation was it looked like another planet. It seemed to be smooth. Didn't really have much texture to it other than like a crater or a dimple on the front of it that the moonlight kind of cast a shadow into. At that point, we decided to wake up our teenage children. We have a 14 and 16-year-old.
Right.
We came in and got them and had them come out and look at it also because it's just, they needed to see it. It was very peculiar.
So they saw it as well.
Yeah.
So four different people saw this in the nighttime sky.
Yes.
Okay.
And my husband and the kids watched it for probably about 30 minutes themselves. I watched it for about a total of an hour.
Okay.
So, what do you guys make of that? Let's start with the rant and then go through everyone. Rant, like, what are you thinking when you hear that?
I don't know. Those are like, I know, like a decade ago, I talked about Planet X a lot. And it's funny because my brother, one time, he lived out in Michigan or Ohio, but Michigan, whatever. I mean, it's right on the border. And him and my dad went out fishing, and he calls me one day, and he's like, "Oh my God, man, there was 2 suns in the sky." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, there was 2 suns in the sky." He's like, "But we couldn't take they're out on the boat. They had shitty. I mean, this is 10 years ago,
Right.
Shitty cameras at the time. You barely be able to take pictures of it now the way it is." But they said the sun was setting, and there was 2 suns in the sky. They could not fucking believe it because they thought I was crazy, right? I'm a loon. I'm nuts, right? And then they're out fishing, and both of them witnessed 2 suns in the sky. I've never witnessed it myself. It just depends on the angle you're at, the time, the angle, because Planet X is supposed to come up from behind the sun.
Right. That's what they say now, and also from the south, from the southern ecliptic.
Yeah, and there's now I can't remember the term exactly. That they called these asteroids that come from behind the sun. There's a term for them.
Sun grazers or something like that.
No, it's something. Man, I did a video on. I was looking at an old video, but I'll look it up here in a second. But there's a term for them because we were at that time getting bombarded by asteroids coming. I think Elenin, which was a comet, and then there was Honda was the asteroid at the same time. I think that one was coming from behind the sun. Was one of these whatever they have.
Hey
the term
Siri,
for.
what do you call an asteroid that grazes the sun?
Nah, it just comes from behind the sun.
Okay, I found this on the web for what do you call an asteroid that grazes the sun? Check it out.
Of course, you won't tell us.
It doesn't even give a good example. Like their AI isn't that good.
And I knew I should have wrote that down because that was that video was from 11 years ago when I did it.
I know what you're talking about. There's different classifications and stuff.
And it's like fuck. Yeah, there's a certain term for these asteroids that come from behind the sun like that because they can't see them until they're already it's too late, basically.
Yeah.
What do you think, Aaron, by just looking at these videos? I mean that this one rising right here, low on the horizon through a plume of smoke. I've never seen a moon move that fast. And there's cars in the real video. You can't see it on this. I cut it off by mistake, but there's car movement down there, which lets me think that this whole movement transpired in 1 minute or 2 minutes.
My mind is so blown by all of this, especially when shackled to silence, right? And we heard Angry Catfish talk about the moon. I think he was talking about maybe it wasn't him, but talking about the moon doing somersaults or something like that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the whole thing about space is it's very fascinating because none of us really know. And it's easy to go down rabbit holes of so many different things that I don't really think we need to bring up in this instance. But when I think about Planet X, I kind of come back to Oumuamua. There's anytime there's something coming in from out of this solar system, it baffles scientists, and they don't really talk about it in the mainstream. And with Planet X, it seems like they kind of started talking about that in the 70s. They developed FEMA pretty much right after that to set up for some kind of contingency for a big problem to come in the future. And I think when we see videos like that one with the moon, people will poo-poo it. It doesn't matter who it is, what the evidence is. It doesn't matter if fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson comes out and says, hey, this is Planet X. Somebody's going to poo-poo it. So we just kind of have to rely on our senses.
Exactly. Like if you see a plume of smoke going up and some cars drive by, I wish I had those cars on there for reference. But I mean that's crazy, dude. Like
Yeah.
that thing's moving quick.
I think we don't necessarily need to look up to the sky because I mean that is important. Don't get me wrong, but we can look around the Earth and realize things. I mean, things change on the Earth. I don't want to go into the
Right.
climate thing or anything like that, but we are seeing weird shit, right? And it's stuff that we haven't been able to quite document and see in historical past of like these things happening. So it, to me, when it comes to Planet X, it seems like things are changing on the Earth, and nobody wants to admit what the cause is. They don't want to admit the sun's the problem. They don't want to admit the carbon's the problem. We don't want to admit anything. So it seems to me that there is some kind of external force coming in that's changing everything. Part of me, real quick, was thinking about like with the balloons and all that kind of shit is maybe we do run the satellites on the balloon, and Planet X is coming in and knocking them out of like their balloon orbit. But I think that would cause a lot of
shit,
problems,
dude. There's
that's
people
kind of one
seeing,
of my
there's
fun.
people, dude. There's people seeing like thousands of white balls in the sky floating around, like that could be that.
Yeah, that's just one of my kind of more crazier ideas is that somehow the gravitational force of like Planet X coming in is pushing all these satellites that are actually on balloons.
Debris
back
could
into-
even be hitting them. I mean, we don't know what's that, Rant.
This is they're called Trojan asteroids. Things that
That's
are
right.
there's a certain spot. The Trojan asteroid, also called Trojan planet. Any one of a number of asteroids that occupy a stable Lagrangian point in a planet's orbit around the sun. So yeah, I mean they're the ones that are behind the sun. I don't understand why they call them Trojans though, because
That's a trip. It's like a Trojan horse that infiltrates you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What do you think of this, Bethany?
This is a topic I'm still not learned on, but I just know what I see in the sky, and it is clearly totally different than I ever remember growing up. I don't know how and today I'm going to post it a little bit later on some of my social media, but I took lots of pictures today. We were getting hammered today with chemtrails, and they're spraying. They're not, I think they got multi-purposes for it. They're hiding something. They are hiding something.
they follow the sun with the chemtrails.
I mean, it was bad, guys. It was all over the place. And I mean, I just can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine what that's doing.
Speaking of chemtrails, you need a detox. Use promo code SHEP25 and save 25%. Go to amulolife.com. Check out all their products. I really love their soaps, their probiotic, their alkaline structured silver that's pH balanced. Amulolife.com. Use promo code SHEP25 and save an incredible 25% and support the network at the same time.
Yeah, you see, like this is from July of 2005. 10th planet discovered. They even went to the point of telling us that we have a second moon.
Right. That's what's tripping me out, because I think they're going to use that as a cover story for when people see what we just looked at right there. Now, that's a trip if you think about it. I'm going to play this exclusive interview with Marshall Masters, author and Planet X researcher. Marshall Masters. Shit show it might be when the shit starts happening, and is there a ramp up period, and how many months do you think that might be, and then does it ramp out? How does that work?
Okay.
Rolling.
And to be honest, this really brings me to the question I get from everybody all the time. When are we going to see it? It's really, it's an impossible question to answer, because we're going to see it for many years. I estimate anywhere from 8 to 10 years for this entire transit to occur once Nemesis has crossed our orbit and is going to pass between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Now, after that, what do we see? We're not going to see that much. because we will be passing through the iron oxide dust cloud with debris. We're going to have tremendous number of meteorite showers and storms. Go read your Bible, the plagues of Exodus.
All right, hold on. Dang. You know, that's crazy right there if you think about it, because they found a bunch of the moon they admitted is turning red, and they're not admitting this, but it's an iron oxide dust that's starting to gather on the moon, which signifies that this Nemesis cloud is near. Remember the drill, the comet Elenin as well? People thought it meant extinction level event Nemesis is near.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the Bible, I believe wormwood, when wormwood passes, it turns the waters to blood, right? And blood red, which is the iron oxide in the waters. So it's going to turn it red. Here's where they, told us what. This is only 2 years ago. They're telling us that we have a second moon. This is after how long with the flat Earth theory? They've been saying there's actually a black moon. There's the silver moon and the black moon, and so there's 2 moons in the flat Earth model, I think, in one of the flat Earth model, and then NASA comes out and goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, we do have a second moon."
Now, if we're in this iron oxide dust cloud and this thing's within proximity and it's causing magnetic braking with our Earth's core, that could potentially stop the planet or Earth for 72 hours, 24 hours. It's more like the Adam and Eve report is reporting. Let's go back to an exclusive interview with Marshall Masters.
When we start having these massive eruptions, and I want you to think about this in terms of your Bible. Go back and read Exodus, the plagues, the plagues, the plagues. Study them. Remember the ash. Because the ash will get into the skin. And if you do not remove it, exfoliate it, it will cause ulcers that will torment you with incredible pain. And this will steal from you any hope of survival. With these ash-related boils that will form on your body, death will come as a friend. But there's a simple way to protect yourself from this. If you do not have enough water on hand to wash your exposed skin each day, then dig down into the earth for fresh soil or clay and use that to remove the ash from your exposed skins. And in this way, while others are choosing to end their lives because the boils are so terrible, you will endure and you will carry on.
Ooh.
Wow.
Exclusive ATN interview with Marshall Masters. Make sure and check him out.
Well, the Bible also says, though, in the last days, men will try to find death, but men will seek death, but they will be unable to find it, which is scary. They'll say to this rock, "Come and crush me," and they won't be able to find. Which, if you're connected to AI, if you're connected to a big network, they can keep your body alive.
Look at this. Do y'all think this is the moon? I've showed this to a moon. I would consider him a really well-versed moon guy, and he's saying no way.
I want to touch on what Bethany just said about people will beg to die, basically. You can look across YouTube and like chats and just any kind of place on the internet, Twitter, where people are talking about the end of days. And I guess that's something really that's been going on forever, right? But it seems like it's a little bit more heavy nowadays, right? Everybody wants to predict World War III. They want to predict the end of days, and they're ready to check out. You have Canada with the maids. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's does anybody know what that means? But they're like where they assisted suicide, basically.
Oh, the pods and the pods and stuff. Yeah.
Euthanasia.
People are it's euthanasia that Canada's doing. It's called maids or something like that. And people are ready to check out. And I wonder if we're in that time right now. I'm not like a biblical scholar or anything like that, but it seems like we are kind of in those days where people are ready to just say, screw it, and let's pull the plug on what we're doing right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
But we have a duty. I mean, we stay. I mean, it is discouraging at times. I mean, granted, I mean, I have my moments, but we're here to fight the good fight, and we're warriors. We have to be soldiers. We're here to get even if the outcome's going to be what it's going to be. But I mean, you just want to try to do the right thing. I don't know what the answers are, but I just know that. I just wanted to read something, Shep, too. The Bible does talk about the sun standing still. That's in the book of Joshua, when the Israelites were fighting, one of their enemies. The God like made the sun stand still. So you were talking about earlier about the, I don't know, sun stopping or something. Sorry, that was way,
the Earth.
The
Earth is supposed to, depending on where the planets are and how they interact. I mean, if you believe in space, I'm open to it all. So it depends on how they interact. If it's going to slow the rotation of the Earth and possibly stop the rotation of the Earth to the point where one side's going to be in the light and one will be in the dark. The other side will be in the dark for 3 to 7 days.
Which is too long, they'll freeze.
Wow.
The other side to get barbecued.
And then they come out
crispy critters.
They come out a couple weeks ago and said the core has stopped spinning.
And why are they being so like they seem like they're being like so telling us certain things, and I just think
they have to because certain people are noticing readings and stuff, right? So they have to give some information. Let's go in a second here to my good friend, the late great Jordan Maxwell. This is an exclusive ATN interview with Jordan Maxwell before his death.
Are being led in our destiny to a world destruction. It is part of the old Communist Party's apparatus to destroy all governments of the world and bring about a United Nations. Isn't that going to be a wonderful new world order where all the nations will be united? It will all be slaves in a concentration camp. And that's what's coming for the whole earth.
Can you repeat the part about slaves in a concentration camp real quick? We're all going to be slaves in a concentration camp.
Yeah, well, we already are slaves. We are right now slaves in a concentration camp. But pretty soon it's going to be in your face, and you're going to see the governmental troops in the streets putting you into concentration camps, and it's going to be an incredible situation the Americans are not prepared for. And they have never had such a thing happen, and that's what's coming very soon now. We see it happening right now in our country, where people are going to prison, and they're being taken off by the military, and no one ever sees them again. Well, that's what's coming for America. An incredible communist world government for America.
Wow.
Shep, where was that clip from? Somebody was asking where that clip is.
I filmed that in with Jordan personally in Flagstaff.
Is that in Shackled to Silence?
See, what we're talking about is the true black pill. This is real black pill shit. Because when you look at, you look at the sky, it's a clock. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. We know the cycles of the moon. We know where all the stars are. It's just these asteroids that come through that you can't. These Trojan asteroids and other asteroids that come through are being pushed through. That I guess we don't know where they're at, but for the most part, I mean, it's cyclic, right? And every ancient civilization has talked about this type of cataclysm, something coming through and causing great floods, great disasters, famine, everything. So,
And are they
to
controlling
ignore
that
that
to
is
some extent
crazy.
too? Do you guys think
What's
they're
that?
controlling that to some extent? I mean, is this strictly organic or is there some inorganic,
I think they're aware
technology?
of it. I think they're aware of it, and maybe that they're in touch with like maybe like Alex Jones talking about like the going smoking DMT and going and talking to like lower vibrational beings or something like that, because it's really hard to talk up to higher vibrational beings or something like that. So I think we're getting this info from like the elites are getting this info from somebody, and they're in hopes of that it'll lead them to some kind of salvation, because there's definitely the clock is ticking on the earth and everything that we know. So they're doing some of this shit to try to escape it or mitigate it or something like that.
Oh, I think they think they're going to win, but they're not. I think they honestly believe they're going to win. They think they can outsmart the creator, no matter what you believe when it comes to this, divine, just creator, extraterrestrials. I believe in God, but I think they think they're going to beat them. They're excited. They're ready to have eternal life, and they're not. They want to do it their way, and they want to go against natural law, the laws of the universe. They're going against everything. Everything is twisted, perverted, upside down, inverted. They're sick mofos, guys. If you didn't know by now,
What's
just
that,
telling
man?
you.
Well, this is an article
News.
on IntelliHub.news. I was just actually looking for the NASA announced Planet X in 1983. It was the Russians, right, that had originally found what they believed to be Planet X, because they know something is out there perturbing other planets and other bodies. You can tell by the wobbles, and again, this is what they say. So I when it comes to flat Earth and round Earth, I don't fucking know for sure, So
I don't
used
think
to
it
be big into
matters.
Planet X. I used to be big into space type stuff, and the flat Earth also makes sense. So I mean, I look at it from both
There's
spectrums.
also a way
both
that I thought of that the flat Earth can work with space is to where basically we're in like a terrariumed out snow globe, and we're floating in a real space system, but we can't penetrate our snow globe because it was placed there by builders or something. Let's go to an exclusive interview here in a second with Dr. Jason Rand. He's the author of Return of Planet X. It's a really great book. People can check that out. And all these people that you're seeing in these exclusive interviews appear in my film Shade the Motion Picture. So make sure and support the network. Grab Shade the Motion Picture DVD. The link is in the description. Make a pledge, a donation. We're going to need it to even keep going. Here's Dr. Jason Rand.
Okay.
That'd be funny.
See, I'm looking at both cameras right now because I want the audience to know that I'm making a video tonight for a really good friend of mine. He has a great blog talk show, and it's video, it's audio, and it's called IntelliHub. And I've been on that show many, many, many times. My name is Dr. Jason Q. Rand, and the Q stands for
Quentin.
There you go. He's got it. This is all for real now. See, I want this in my video. People think that because I talk about the stuff I talk about that I may not be totally there. Oh, I'm quite there. Okay. And I'm looking off right now to my right. To your left, my right. And I'm looking at a copy of my newest book called The Reality Engineers. And it's a great story about when I was a kid at the age of 12. I had the experience of being on board what was called back in the 1950s a flying disc, a flying saucer. All right, now from that point it went to.
So he gets into like some of these stories, but I wanted to show you guys this meteorite that he showed myself and Aaron Cole.
Oh, dude.
Okay, now this is like a $300,000 meteorite
case, of which we can get shots of later. Anyway, it took me about 2 months to find it. I mean, I'm living there. Every day I was out looking for it. And what I didn't realize was that if you can see it underneath here, it was buried. All the sand was buried all the way to the top of it. And the only thing that was protruding from the bottom was this rocky piece of the ridge. And you can see where the rust is. Okay? This is rock. Okay? And the top of it looks like it's been burned or baked. It's got like a helmet, and there's a. I would say about a half inch. There's a half-inch crust on it that's been severely burned. This is what happened when it came careening in through the atmosphere, the Earth's atmosphere, until it crashed onto this hill behind the dune. That's what threw me off. It was in the hill, but it was below the dune.
Now, y'all want to hear a crazier story? This guy right here, Dr. Jason Rand, he remote viewed that he was going to go find this thing, and in his remote viewing, it told him exactly where to dig. He had to climb a whole mountain and go up on a mountain on a certain day, start digging in a certain place, and he found that he went right to it from his remote viewing, basically after a while.
Do you remember when we got to his house that night, Shep, to do that interview with him? He's like a remote viewed y'all coming up the stairs and everything like that. I can't remember where it went from there. I don't. Hopefully you do, but man, Jason Rand, what a great guy.
Shackled 2 silences the film. Get
the
it.
link is in the YouTube and the Facebooks.
Oh,
great film! Great film.
I remember.
Links in the description.
I remember his remote viewing now.
That too.
He opened the door as soon as we got to the top of the stairs. And we sat down and we were talking and everything for a minute. He's like, I remote viewed earlier. And you're like, oh yeah? And he's like, that's why I opened the door. To when he let us into his house and everything. Dude, he's badass, dude.
Wow.
It was so cool. He even bought us some crown and shit while we're doing the interview and everything, doing like a 2-camera shoot. That was
oh, you had everybody buying your crown, didn't you, Shep? Your shit was pretty expensive too, Aaron. Your beer.
Yes.
We don't fuck around.
That was a great interview.
You guys don't play around.
Yeah, if you're filming a documentary, you just roll.
Yeah, you
And
guys.
I found this one.
Rocked it.
I don't know what they're going to use of it. I hope they use all of it. I've written a couple of books. One of them is called The Return to Planet X. 8 years, right?
So he came on my show. Are you guys ready for this? He came on my show, and back about 12 years ago, and he sold $250,000 worth of these books after doing my show. This is a really good book.
Wow.
Writing and researching and documenting this book. This was a real work of love of art, but a painstaking trip through records and libraries. And I've got about 4,500 personal books in my library, so I can assure you that I've had a lot of research that went into writing this first book. This book.
Crazy, huh?
Oh, yeah, dude, it's so awesome.
You know,
second book published, but the first book that got the public's attention. So I had the second published book.
Crazy.
man.
Can I tell one more funny story?
Yeah.
With with Jason there. We met him at first at a Chinese restaurant, like a Chinese buffet.
China.
And we walk in and we just have like, me and Shep have masks on our chin because like we're in Memphis, Tennessee. Very, you know, whatever you want to think about Memphis, it's probably true. And Jason just walks in there like not giving two shits, just ball swinging. And they refuse to seat him. They make him go back out to his car to get a mask to wear on his chin, to go get food, to sit down at a table and take it off and put food in your face. It was the most hilarious thing. And that was my first impression of Jason there, and beautiful. I was like, dude, I fucking like this guy. It was so
You wanted everybody taking it on the chin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. Yes. And me and
Yeah,
Shepard,
I went to the Chinese bar and I fucking just went behind the motherfucker and started serving myself and fucking tainted up the whole bar with.
I was following Shepard and he was doing his
You
own
were
thing.
licking doorknobs.
I was just following Shepard because I'm like, fucking let's get some food, dude. I'm hungry as shit. We've been on the road for a hot minute now. And they're like, get back. Because like a Chinese buffet, you go serve your own food. At this time though, it was September 2020. And
Oh my God, and they still had the buffet?
Yeah, they had buffets, but they served it to you. You had to tell
They
them
were
what you
like
wanted.
guarding it and they had it all like quarantined off.
Yeah, it was
a bummer.
It was a bummer.
That one's going to be called.
Bummer.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah, that's how we met Dr. Rand, though. It was so great. Such a good
Yeah, that was a fun time for you guys. That was very adventurous. I enjoyed having you over, and my door's always open to anybody that loves freedom and anybody that's, hey, anybody. Well, I should be careful how I say that. That didn't sound too good. Oh, geez.
Every single person that loves freedom, your door's open.
That really's all right. Never mind. Forget I said it. Just blot that out. No, but honestly, it was cool. I can't believe how fast you guys did that too. Shep. I mean, I just can't believe, like, I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know you could get somebody could get something done that quick, that you got something done that quick. It just was mind blowing to me from start to finish.
Yup.
And you almost lost it all, Shep. You almost lost it all. I remember like going, the chaos you had to go through to make this happen. And this is why we need your support, guys, because, this, we're here, like, we're like committed to this, and Shep does a lot of work, and I mean, we really could use anything you guys can afford to help us out, keep the lights on, because each month goes real quick and it's month to month. So
there's Bitcoin and Ethereum addresses in the description. If y'all want to kick in a couple Bitcoin, that's fine too.
And right now you only have PayPal, right, Shep? Because a few people have asked me, and okay, so
like, hopefully they can get over, like, somehow you're gonna have to support, if you're planning on supporting shows like this, they're canceling people's banks and stuff. So right now we got PayPal and we got Ethereum and Bitcoin, and you can call me for other crypto wallets.
You can go to buymeacoffee.com as well. I mean, for my show, buymeacoffee.com/RantCast. It seems to be Buy Me a Coffee. A lot of people are using. I know journalists like Addy Ads, if anybody's heard of him. He's been targeted. He can't get paid from anything, and right now the only thing sustaining him is Buy Me a Coffee. So
that's crazy. How bad
support me for the price of a coffee.
When's your show air? Rant every Sunday?
Every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Aaron Cole, also the Cole Report. Aaron, what's tell us about your show for the new listeners. Oop, you're muted.
All right, so the Cole Report, it's kind of on the shelf at the moment, but when it gets back up and running, we're going to do video. We're going to go out to all the platforms and everything like that. But it's kind of more just news deconstruction. I like to laugh at whenever libs of TikTok post like these crazy people. Since we're on YouTube right now, I got to choose my words wisely. people like that. I like to laugh at that. I like to break down, like world.
Did we just lose him?
Digestible, since that's what's going on in the
Damn.
world these days. And just make light of it, get it out there so people know what's coming. And that's just kind of what I do with the Cole Report. And the intentions are to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 Central PM, 10 Eastern. I guess that'd be 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain.
Oh, nice.
Intergalactic time is tune in right now and check it out. Because I don't know how it works in intergalactic time, but that's how it works in the United States, at least. But most importantly, support Shepard and Ambellas, because I'm here because of Shepard. Bethany's here because of Shepard. Rant, I think you're here because of Shepard too. We need to support Shepard right now, guys, because that is the most important thing. And you can do it by sharing the show. You can donate. Or I mean, we're going to maybe open up some more ways to donate or something like that with Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver. Send us your wealth and share out the shows.
Yeah, I mean, if you
don't have
got
any
a
wealth.
couple Bitcoin, just send over one of them.
Just a couple. I just send one.
I'm gonna be set up to have merch at some point too. Coffee mugs, T-shirts, stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
I've got
somebody still needs to make bobbleheads. Somebody's got to be the creator of the bobbleheads. The bobbleheads
Aaron Cole bobblehead
for all the ATN people.
Dude, I bobblehead like a motherfucker, so I need a bobblehead.
Shep, you were kind of like doing the bobblehead yesterday before the show started. Yeah, you were bobbling head.
I can't look at myself on camera and not move because I feel like I might be glitching or something. So I got to like move and make sure everything's working right. So I'm not tweaking.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share, comment, donate.
Thank you, Nemesis. 112.
Yeah,
where do we go from here, guys? Where do we go?
They're
Where
great.
do we go from here, everybody?
I had that clip of the moon. I don't know if I guess I showed it yesterday, but something landing on the moon. It's crazy those how them cameras, man.
Moon's a sphere. It could be going around the backside.
I wish I would have had my video from a couple, that one I was talking about that's like 11 years old. I can't pull it up on YouTube, but I clipped apart because it has in it. It was real weird because back then there was talks of a space in war. You remember this, Shep? There was a war going on in space, and they were already sending up basically Space Force. I mean, this was what, 2011 or so. So I went outside with my camera, with my phone, and at the time I had an HTC Thunderbolt, I think it was called. It was supposed to be like the fanciest shit at the time. And I go out and it's really bright and sunny, and I was in Iowa, and I just looked up and filmed the sun. And when I looked back at the video, it messes up the phone, obviously, from the brightness. But you can see these objects coming across the screen and then changing directions. And there's like 3 different ones that come in, and they're not a lens flare. They're not because they're independently moving the way they are. So it blocked out the sun in a way that I could see the stuff kind of. I don't know if they were satellites or what. I'll clip it and we'll play it tomorrow and point it out tomorrow, because I haven't, like I said, that video is really old. I forgot about it, and I haven't. Nobody's really seen
Rashim,
it.
thank you for the donation, Rashim.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Blessings to you. It always comes back, and that makes everybody a part of this, and you guys you're a blessing.
That's awesome. Yeah, please, we need all the support we can get. Hopefully, I really need I don't know, but I need to pull it together. I need people to come through. right now. So
You got it pulled together, Shep. You just got to get people to come through. Yeah, somebody that can be a monthly donor. That can
Well, I
commit
mean,
to.
man, we
or
stay
sponsors,
consistent on what we're doing right now. Everything will work out. I mean, every day that we do this, it's growing and growing, and we can see the viewers, the comments. We enjoy everybody that watches, everybody that listens, everybody that interacts, comments. Yeah, much appreciated.
It's frustrating for me though, Rant, because I've done this on such a scale before, and they, being censored like this and trying to rebuild from scratch basically is kind of a thing. But we're gonna do it or whatever.
Shep's
Like
a
I said,
warrior,
like we
man.
said at the top of the show, I'm gonna put them in there again real quick, but the links to Shep's Rumble and my Rumble, to go and follow both of our Rumbles, because at some point they're probably gonna hit the YouTube and shut it down. And a lot of you guys are over on YouTube watching this, and really, honestly, we want to get away from YouTube. I mean, the way YouTube treats
That's the problem. Everyone
creators.
wants to watch it on YouTube, but we need to get away from it. But
the people
look,
watching need to get away from it. The creators need to get away from it.
At least get set up on the Rumble and all the other channels and everything in case they just hurt. Because if they're going to turn someone's YouTube off, it's going to be mine.
No, not you. Targeting
I got
doesn't
one
have this.
strike on
Shep.
my YouTube left, but I mean, nobody. Yeah, I mean, it's so shadow banned on that dumb thing. It's pointless. I mean,
Well, people get in their comfort zones. It's time to make yourselves uncomfortable, and that's true of me too. I need to take my own advice, so I'm not chastising anybody. I say the same thing to myself, but we got to get out of our comfort zones. I mean, we do have things that we get. It's it's easy. It's learning something new too. I think trying to learn something new is like, for me, especially electronics, it's like, once I learned, that's why I'd never go for, I guess if you have an Android, you keep to an Android. If you have an Apple, you keep to an Apple, because you get used to the operating systems and same type of deal. But
yeah, go to amulolife.com. If you're looking for the absolute best in a probiotic, Amulolife probiotic is the one for you. It's a patented process probiotic. It's the only probiotic that lasts a long time in your digestive system. It has powerful ingredients. You want to take this probiotic. I took it. It was absolutely amazing. I think on the third day, I really noticed it. It improved my gut health. Everything was better. Even my skin looked better. That's why, I don't ever recommend products to anyone at all. Really, we've had sponsors and stuff, but this one I actually truly recommend. Amulolife.com.
Rant's got
Go
it.
there. And
that's right. Get yourself some silver.
ooh, Rant.
Use promo code. Show them that, Rant. Use promo code Shep25 and save 25%. Amulolife pH balance, alkaline structured silver solution. Buy a bunch of it, hand it out to all your friends, because
you
need to detoxify right now.
Lozenges, yeah.
You need to detoxify. We're at the end.
Very good. Remember to check out the links in the YouTube. Follow the Rumbles. Follow us over on Twitter. Follow everybody that's on the show. Bethany, Aaron. Links are in the descriptions.
Send in money. I need it. I'm talking 15 people send in $100. Some guy that owns a small business or a female that owns a small business, I'll plug your business the whole time. Send in $500, whatever you want, something like that. I got to get about a couple grand a month going, more than we got here. So
Random Appalachia. Just go check out atn.live or go to rain.rantcast.live. The show will be replaying right now.
Take it easy.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here.
ATN. ATN.